you, if you work 9 to 5, I will pay you $50,000 a year, would you take that job? What if I told you that you will make $100,000 a year? Would you take that job? What if I told you you will make $200,000 a year? Would you take that job? Many of you say, yeah, I will take that job, $200,000 a year. But what if I told you that if you read one book, you will make $1,000,000? Would you read that book? Yep, many of you would, right? Well, that is what I've decided to do. I will no longer tell my kids that they will have to work 9 to 5 to make money. So my husband and I do not in any way tell our kids that they have to work 9 to 5 in order for them to make money. No. So that is why we've decided that to give our kids chores. The idea of working for time to make money is a no. Hello everyone, welcome back with Monday with Claire. Happy holiday. Hopefully everyone had a great holiday, and welcome back with Monday with Claire. I kind of wanted to talk to everyone about how I wanted to change things up with Monday with Claire. A lot of things that I've been doing has been going back and talk about things that I did with the kids, Caleb, Aaron, and Hannah, when they were younger. I kind of do not want to do that anymore. I'm so sorry. What I've decided to do is I've decided to write a book about the things that I've done in the past with the kids. I feel like that it's not fair to go back and talk about the things that I've done in the past. It is the past. When they were younger, I felt as though that I literally screamed, yelled, went everywhere. I went to the YMCA, I went to the library, to talk about the curriculum that I was using with the kids. I was begging parents with younger kids to learn from me the things that I was doing, because I thought it was revolutionary to be able to teach children as young as 6-month-old to read. And I felt like that I was screaming on top of my lungs. And now I feel like they're like, now that the kids are 13, 10, and 8. Oh my gosh, I have a teenager, a preteen, and an elementary. To go back, I feel like they're like, I'm really not utilizing the time that I have now to talk to the parents about the time that the things I'm doing now with the kids. So what I've decided to do is write a book about the things that I've done in the past, put that in the book. I was in the process of writing that book after after I gotten a hysterectomy. I had 6 months. 6 weeks. I was resting. I was supposed to be resting, of course. What does a busy mom do when she's supposed to be resting? Write a book, of course, right? So the book is not only in my voice, but it's also in the voice of Caleb and also my husband. And we got together and wrote a book. And so right now it is in the hand of the editors, and it has a lot of the things that I did with the kids when they were younger, and that's going to be out soon. And so wait on that. But right now what I want to do is I want to talk about the things that we are doing now as a family with our children. And I feel like they're like, I don't know how the kids are going to turn out, right? So I feel like they're like, what kind of kids am I going to have 10, 15, 20 years from now? Am I going to be, are we, not me, but my husband and I, are we going to produce 3 tech geniuses? Are we going to produce 3 billionaires? Are we going to produce 3 activists? Are we going to produce 3 just regular children? I don't know, right? So only time will tell. But I feel like that it is important for me to document the things that I'm doing with our children. And I don't want to miss out of me documenting these things like I did when they were younger. And I feel like that I was able to document a little bit with Caleb when he was a baby. And I'm glad I documented a little bit of the things through Talk to Your Baby and through Atlanta Gifted Academy. And I don't want to miss the time with them at this age. So one of the things that we are doing now with them is I don't, my husband and I, we were talking, and we feel like they're like in the house, right? We were talking about chores, and we got the kids together, and we talked to them about the fact that my mom currently live with us, and we talk about how we live in the house as a community, and in a community, and everyone has responsibility, and giving money for chores, which I know some households do, but we feel like though that that's not something we believe in, which is giving money to kids for chores, because we feel like though like since everyone in the household live together, everyone need to contribute in living in the household. So when they get married, or when they have roommates, or that's something that they're going to need to do. So when they move out and they have roommates, they're not gonna be able to. They have to be able to clean the toilet, or clean a window, vacuum. They're not gonna be able to get paid to do those things. So we don't feel like that's something that just because they live here or they live in the house, they're gonna get paid to do those things. But at the same time, we want to be able to teach our children about finance. So we want to find a way, how do we teach them about financial responsibility without necessarily rewarding them for living in a household at the same time. So one of the things that we came up ways for them to teach them about financial responsibility, about such things about saving and tithing, like giving money to charity, whether it's through contribution to a church or charity through generosity to local charity the things that they believe in, or saving for items. And that came about because one of my oldest son came to me, and he wanted to buy this interactive game. I don't know what it was, but he wanted to use real money to buy this interactive game, right? But to him it was like $50, and to me I'm like, that's a lot of money to buy something that was intangible. But to him it was just kind of like, yeah, but that's nothing, But I'm like, do you understand what, $50 is a lot of money for you to buy this thing, and do you understand what that mean? But to him, I didn't feel like if he understood the concept of money. So I'm like, okay, how do we teach our children about money, and then how do we teach them even the concept of interest and compound interest, everything else. And one of the things that my husband and I did last year was that they had taken their money that they had gotten from Christmas from their grandparents, and we thought it would be a good idea to teach them about stock. And then they had used that money and they brought stocks with it, and they brought stock with because they couldn't go to, because of COVID, they couldn't go to the movies, so they had brought stock with AMC, right? So they bought the stock at the time for like $2.50, and which was like amazing. But the stock went skyrocket, and they made so much money, and I didn't feel like it taught them a lot about the money and waiting and growth. And I'm like, okay, this is not exactly what we wanted to teach them. So what we decided to do was, instead of teaching them about chores, which was time equals money, we wanted to teach them about that another way for them to make money. So what we decided to do was to teach them, okay, this is what we are going to do. We are not going to give you money for chores, but what we will do is we will give you based on age. For each book that you read that has to do with personal development, we will pay you for each book. It doesn't matter if there's no limit of the amount of book that you read per week. There's no limit of the amount of book that you read. We will pay you for that book. So, for example, our youngest one, Hannah, we pay her $5 per book for each personal development book. It could be a spiritual book. It could be a financial book. It could be a personal growth book. We pay her $5 per book. And there is no caveat, so it can be whatever amount of book that she reads. Now these books that we already had some of these books in the house. These books can be checked out at the library. These books can be books that like I said, we have already have in the house. So I'll give you an example. One of the books, of course, that we've had is Becoming by Michelle Obama, right? And then we've had a Bible meditation book, right? We paid for that. We pay for our middle son. We pay him $7 per book for him to read, and for Caleb, we pay $10 per book. Again, there is no limit for how many books that they read per week, right? So then we have the spiritual transformation book. Let me see. There is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, okay? And How to Turn $100 to $1 million, right? And we have several of these books. Invest in your nest, right? So these books varies, right? Right? So they go from spiritual to right? So all these books, they go from personal, finance, spiritual. So they get, I mean, when we have all these books, some of them I've purchased from Amazon. Some of them, like I said, we already had them in the home. And this is really to teach them that knowledge is power and knowledge is money, right? And like I said, we don't know what kind of children we are raising, but I really want to teach them that that you know, making money or finance or their own financial goal has to do with knowledge, and the knowledge is available to them at their fingertip, and it's available to everyone. It's all about knowledge and who's able to obtain it. So that is what we are doing with them right now. How is it going? We introduced this to them about 2 weeks ago. Of course, our oldest one, Caleb, he's like, my goal is to make about $50 a week. So he took like 5 books, took it into his room. He has not come to us yet to have us test them on any of them. Hannah took about, she took the making 100 to 1 million. She's still working on that one. And Aaron is waiting for her to finish that one because that's the one that he's interested in reading. So that's how it's going. One is, to me, it's a win-win for me as a parent. One, they're reading. But 2, it's amazing because these are the books that I wanted them to be reading anyway, that I couldn't get them, to grab and read. But 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 the other thing is, to me, it's like these are the book as a parent you want your children to be reading. But these are this is the thing that's going on right now in the Anderson household. Um, so I'll let you guys know how it's going, but that's what we are doing. So yeah, so I'll let you guys give you an update on how it's going. But this is what we're gonna hopefully talk to you guys about, and hopefully every week that's what I'm gonna talk to you about.